So now in this video, I'm going to cover what you should change on your website as a business owner to get more clients. So today we're covering a flooring company, what we did for them, what we transformed for them on their website to, of course, attract the right client, rank local, and look like their business. Their website was not aligning with what they were doing. So we went in there and helped them out. So let's go ahead, jump into the computer and show you what we did. Now, this company came to us because they were in the midst of redoing their showroom. So their showroom was all about, adding more of a modern feel to their business, more credibility, and of course, building that brand. Now, they came to us with this website. As you can see, this is the one that we built for them. We're going to show you now and walk you through on how we created this here to this. Now, of course, as you can see, very basic website that they had. They really stressed that to us as well. It wasn't modern. It didn't feel like them. You can see the colors are also off with their brand. They're also in the midst of changing their color within the brand. And so we had a meeting with them. We sat down with them. We discussed everything they needed to change, the things they wanted on their website. So again, you could see they had home, product services, brands, testimonials, and contact us. Now, the first thing I noticed within this website is, of course, the fact that here on the homepage, you could see that we have testimonials in the menu, but when we scroll further down, they don't show up right away. So building trust is, again, very important for a service-based business. And right away, as you could see, the trust is missing because we don't see those testimonials on the homepage. So if a user lands on the homepage, they won't find that information. Now, again, with the homepage, it's like the first thing or the main thing that you see when you Google things, especially for a business. So the most important things have to be displayed on the homepage. Now, another thing with the products and services, again, we do scroll down and we can see a little bit some information about their products. You can see here, but it doesn't really present it in a sort of unique way or incentivize the user to, or even the customer to explore more about the product. It just sort of shows that they do those type of services. So again, we could clean this up and make it look a little bit more presentable and of course, more professional. They also kind of repeat themselves multiple times on the website. And they also mentioned to me that's very outdated. The information doesn't represent what they're currently offering. And people are calling about services they don't even do anymore. So that was a very big sort of thing with the fix on our website. They also mentioned that they had a lot of experience and it's also a family-run business. And they really wanted to highlight that on their website. And they want to add a little bit more personality on their page. So with that information, we went ahead, we went to the drawing board, and the first thing we did with them was we came up with a design. So more of the feel of the company. Now they talked to us about a green, sort of a fresh feel, a modern green tone, because it sort of more of a natural feel they wanted. So the first thing we did here, I'll pull it up. So now, as you can see here, when I open up the mood boards, we actually discussed this with them. So this is the green mood board. As you can see, we first presented a green color with them and they didn't prefer this one so much. So we give them another option, and that is the blue. As you can see, we actually went with the blue. So they ended up picking this one. I think it was a great option. It definitely brings across their new modern sort of feel of the company instead of the green. So again, the green was an older color they had, and they were thinking of maybe sticking with that green color, but they ended up switching to that blue color. So you can see here, right, we got a strong sort of navigation. Users can find what they're looking for right away. They can find their credibility with the testimonial button and things like that. And of course, the header shows a nice image of what they do and a call to action, which is the contact button. Again, for this service type of business, they want to go ahead and collect leads. They want to get people to call them. So that's why we have that button there. We also have the phone number at the very top, which they can also click. Then we go further down, we have another call to action right away. So if they miss that, they can still click that to scroll them down to the contact page. We also gave some examples of just sort of layouts, how we could display the service, some pattern examples for the website to give it that feel, that modern, elegant theme they're looking for. And then also we gave them some examples of the way we could split up their services, because they also mentioned to us that they had residential services and commercial services, and they wanted to separate both so it doesn't get confusing, so that the commercial services are listed on its own sort of area, so that any commercial distributor or contractor can just search that part of the website and find what they're looking for. So we decided to do it sort of in a way where they're still similar but divided. So on the homepage, we're thinking of presenting a card like this so that the user can navigate to what type of service they're looking for. If it's a residential client, right, they may have a home, they may be a new homeowner or remodeling their home, they would just navigate here. And if they're a contractor that's looking to buy bulk or having them install the floors for their commercial building, they would navigate here. So we kind of presented it that way for them with that same sort of feel of the website, which as you could see, we're going with sort of some triangle feels. Again, the reason why we started to go with triangles is because you can't sort of see this here. But when we had a meeting with them, their store location, they had a very unique building, and their building was sort of that triangular structure. And we wanted to incorporate that in the website because they are a local business. And again, they are targeting a local area. So we kind of brought that location into the website. Now, once we agreed on the color and the feel of the website, we actually went ahead and created the structure of the website. So this is down here. So we did some planning of each page. As you can see, we structure everything out. Again, this is a very rough look. It's like a low design. So it's not how the website will look. It's just sort of the feel of how the content will be structured. And that's also very important to get down, because if the content doesn't flow right in the beginning, there's really no point of having the website, because the main goal of the website is to convey a certain message or a certain goal. So that's either closing more clients, allowing clients to find your services a little bit quicker, or even just having that feel of your brand come across through the messaging. So here we went ahead, and with this client, we began creating the home page first. As you can see, we kept the double menu. They really like that idea. I like that too. I think it's a very smart idea, because the user, if they just need to find the service or the services they're offering, they can take a glance at the top, the first link they click, and they can get an understanding of what the business is all about. So we kept that. We kept the heading. We went in with maybe a few hours of operation, and then some popular categories. We kind of pitch this idea to them to do it like this. Also to have a quick navigation for their services, so they can, again, get reminded about what they're looking for. And then we have that division of residential and commercial. Now you'll probably notice that a few of these things will change with the final design, as it always does, but that's sort of the starting point we had with the clients. So I'll quickly glance over these sections. As you can see, we include the testimonials on the homepage for credibility, as well as a gallery. So this showcases the images and sort of work that they do. You can show the quality that they do and what they deliver. That's also very important to have on the homepage. And of course, a contact, like a call to action, and maybe a location map at the bottom. So that is the homepage. We went ahead and designed the other pages as well. So this is our services. So this would be just like the residential services. Again, a quick link at the top to navigate to the service they're looking for, and maybe some associations here with who they're associated with. But again, it was a very rough sort of idea for them, just so you can feel of how the website will flow. Same thing for the commercial services. But that's sort of what we approached. And then, of course, we have our shop brands. And here we decided to showcase the brands that they offer, mainly for commercial services, because if they're partnered with a certain brand that they want in their building, they can just take a look at the brands and they can pick which brand they want to purchase from. And of course, a gallery layout. So that was sort of the approach we did with them. And they really liked the flow of the website, the information of the website. And then we went ahead and started actually incorporating the content. So with the content, they actually wanted us to come up with the content for them, because they didn't really have an idea of what they wanted on the website. And so we went ahead and really understood their business. We gave them a PDF, a questionnaire. They filled out the questionnaire. They really gave us the information that they're all about. They mainly really want to focus on the fact that they do have experience. They have several generations of experience, and they are local, and they want to add that personality. But they also want to highlight that premium, flooring, aesthetic, and of course the services they offer. Now, this business, again, since they were in the transition period of remodeling their showroom and also changing some of their product, they didn't really have any images for us to use, because again, the image may include a flooring that they didn't sell anymore, or maybe a service they're not offering. So with this, we went ahead and actually sourced our own images, and then we'll update the images later on whenever they have sort of a location or the product laid out that we can take a picture of. But for now, we went ahead and we redesigned their website. As you can see, this is their website. I'll do a quick reload here. It is hosted with us, and as you can see, it is very interactive. We have, of course, our navigation at the top. Again, we still highlight the services in the top menu, but we have a quick overglance here on the bottom, which is very important. But right above, we have where they're located, so the person can find them, their email, and of course, their phone number. So that's the main thing you want, and some credibility, which is their social media. So we have everything linked here at the top, a nice image of what they offer, and of course, some copy explaining what they do, transforming your commercial and residential spaces. So that's mainly what they focus on. They have a Let's Talk button, which of course scrolls them down to the contact form for any leads that are interested. So you can see here when I go further down, next thing is showing their personality, showing their sort of over 27 years of business experience. Very important, shows credibility in the space. And I think it's very important to highlight. I really like this section. It also adds more of a local feel and that they are an established business in their area. Then we come down to our call to action here, just incentivizing people to take action. And then we have their services. This is a summary of what they do. So if someone has a question about what hardwood flooring is, what vinyl or laminate is, they can take a quick glance here. And then we have, of course, if you're either residential or commercial. So sort of funneling them down, right? They get an understanding of who they are first, what they offer, and then it sort of calls out to who you are. If you're residential, you'd click learn more. And if you're commercial, you'd click learn more here as well. And it kind of categorizes them here as well. It gives you a little bit of a hint. Builders, contractors, senior living, or multifamily, right? Those are like projects they'd be working on, or if you're a homeowner or a realtor. Then we have, of course, popular options. So again, if they don't know what they want, they're just browsing. If they might want to choose this company. They have here a section where they can pick either vinyl flooring, carpets, or hardwood. There's usually common options that people select. So we went ahead and discussed that with them as well. What's a popular option that people usually select? And that's what we're highlighting here. Then we have, of course, testimonial, very important. What our customers are saying. Again, they have a very good testimonial base, like a very good reviews on Google. So we went ahead and linked these here. And these buttons link directly to Google to basically showcase that, hey, this is a credible review and it actually exists on Google. Then we have our gallery. So this shows active work they're doing. Again, credibility. And we have the contact form. So this is where they can reach out or give them a call. And of course, where they're located if they want to go ahead and visit them in person. Now, this is sort of an overview of the website. As you can see on the bottom here, we also have their quick links. So if, again, you forgot where you're going, you can still navigate back to the menu from the footer. But with that being said, that's an overview of the homepage. Now, going into services, we actually decided to take the services at a different approach. And again, since we have residential and commercial, we kept services as sort of like a homeowner. They're just looking for services. They don't really question if it's commercial, where a commercial business or someone who is commercial will actually resonate with this word commercial. So that's why we separated it in this way. But both pages have their own services listed. So if I go to services here, if I were to click vinyl right here, you can see it brings you to the services page and it scrolls you down to the vinyl section. And of course, at the top of this services page, you can see we have quick buttons that will also navigate you to each section. So if we click on carpet, again, it scrolls down to the carpet section. And again, it gives you an overview of how they install it, what type of carpet they install. So they install wool carpets, flooring carpets, and area rugs. They have different patterns, things like that, and just different information. We also have the hardwood section, and here we made it a little bit interactive with the user, where we have 4 sort of hardwood flooring that we showcase, and you can click on them and view them in a larger scale. So it kind of adds a more immersive feel for the user, and you can get more information about each section. So we went through and did that for every single service they offer. And then at the bottom, of course, we direct them to a call to action, which is a contact form. Now, with this website, again, we have the commercial section. So when I navigate to the commercial section, this one, we decided to put the contact form at the very top because usually it's a bigger project for commercial, right? They want to either cover a huge room, they want to get a quote of the room, they want either the flooring company to do this for them. So that's why usually we know that this type of client wants to reach out and call them directly or get a quote. So we did get a quote request form here so they can reach out right away. But if they're interested in more of what they offer, they can scroll down and see what type of spaces they cover. So they do office space flooring. And of course they do kitchens, shared kitchens, boardrooms. We also have their process, start from the custom design to sourcing the materials to doing the installation. And we also have, of course, retail flooring, educational flooring, and healthcare flooring. Not only that, they also have family residential and I think healthcare as well, like senior living. So you can see that there. So we highlight each one so it attracts that right client, and then they'll reach out to that contact form. Again, same structure for the brands. So the brands just shows who they work with. It shows that they've built a strong partnership with certain brands in the area. So that builds credibility again. And the client can go ahead and pick the brand they want to work with. And of course, we have the gallery again, which just shows more images about things or projects they have completed here. So that is an overview of the new website that we redesigned for this flooring company. Again, it builds really good credibility. They're very happy with the way it looks. It brings their image online, so mainly the feeling of the business, and of course, it speaks to the right audience. Now, another thing I want to mention is this is all sort of mobile friendly as well. So when I click on here, the example of how it would look on a phone, you could see here, if I navigate to an iPhone, you could see that when we switch it to a iPhone here, you can see that everything lines out for a phone or mobile user, and you can see everything is scaled correctly. Now with the services as well, if we click on services here, you can see that with the services, we have the quick buttons here as well. This helps mobile users understand what they're doing, and they can easily click on this and navigate to that section. So it's all there for the user to use and makes it very easy for them to figure out what they're doing and reach out right away. Now, that was another thing that their old website was lacking. They didn't have that mobile friendly approach, outdated content, didn't align with their company vision and of course aesthetic, and it was attracting the wrong type of clients. Not only that, the website was also not showing up on Google. It wasn't ranking local, which is actually hurting their business because they are a local business. It was ranking in other places in the world, which means that they couldn't even serve that type of customer because it was just too far away. So with ours, we're focusing on local. We have some local words as well in our copy, and they're coming up on Google. So this approach here with this new website, this is what we did. Now, if you're a service-based business and need help, definitely comment down below or reach out, and we can take a look at your website, see how to improve it, and we'll be happy to help to elevate your brand online so you can get more clients and, stand out online.